Look, tell him I have to have whiskey in my contract. Hey, what's going on, guys?
Man,
looks like
that assistant of yours, he never gets things straight, does he?
Anyways, looks like we're back, and what a time to be alive, because this topic that's coming up. But first, let's get through the intro. As always, it is the Triple S crew themselves. The Words with Nerdz is back. That's right, it's me, Sundance Kid himself, aka DJ.
It's me, Slick the Big Rodriguez.
And it's me, Space Gaze, aka Vince. What's up? I'm glad to be back. It's been, in our time, it's been 2 weeks since we've done this. So I'm glad to get back into the swing of things, do another podcast for you guys.
It's been a minute. I missed it.
And get back to normalcy too. Get out of the all the horror-based stuff we were doing for a while. So
yeah, the October
whatever that was,
like month did not go as well as we planned. However, we are back at the regular stuff, the regular old schmegular, and I forget whose week it is this time.
Honestly, so it's kind of all of our weeks this week because we're doing something new.
Break it down, man. Break it down.
Yeah, we're gonna try a different idea. I feel like we're ever evolving, which I like that just as a life motto in general. Keep things fresh. DJ's ringing dawn. What are you starting a sumo match? What was
Shut
that?
up, leave me alone.
Anyways, besides that, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut down time on each episode. We're gonna try to keep it to like 15 minutes, 20 minutes per topic, and then we're going to release 3 times a week. I think we're gonna do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So quicker episodes, more episodes. That's it.
Gotta love the subterfuge that is Vince when he is describing things. He's just like, this is the beginning, this is the end. Get on with it.
Cut and dry.
Love it.
Easy to comprehend.
Real meat and potatoes. I suppose. Are we doing weekly topic? First 10, or are we just good to go? We're just gonna dive right into it. Fuck it. Let's dive right into this shit. Look.
Yeah. So, I will mention, we 3 of us talked off, like just in real life, I guess. Even though, this is real life too. But outside of the podcast, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
We're friends in real life, guys.
Yeah, we're friends in real life. We talk about other things, but we did decide that if we're gonna do hour-long shit, it's gonna be like one topic things, like big movies and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, anything else, boys?
No, let's dive right into this shit.
Cool,
bro. This week we're doing the next topic. How do you wrote there? How do you word that? Whatever. Today we're doing trailers, and today specifically this trailer that we're going to talk about. If you're not reading, like me, we're going to be talking about Morbius, the new movie from Sony / Marvel. Well, not Marvel Studios, but it's a Marvel entity. Mm-hmm. They have intellectual control of property of that or whatever. So Morbius. Let's dive right into it. Whose trailer pick was this?
Oh yeah, this was my pick actually this week. I've been waiting for this for a lot of reasons. One, I'm a big Jared Leto fan. I saw that he was finally getting introduced to the MCU, and I'm pretty excited about it. Never really knew who Morbius was until they announced him playing it. Yeah, but he is he's gonna be in the MCU now. Fucking A, man.
Dust the dust off, dust it off. Bring it back into it. It's all good. If only he had whiskey.
If only he had whiskey. I need an assistant like DJ's got.
Hey.
Tell him, give him my address. Anyways, so Morbius, he's a biochemist. His name is Michael Morbius. Basically, he's got a blood disease, and he's trying to cure himself. And then in doing so, in trying to cure himself, he actually gives himself vampirism. which on the surface sounds like a goofy movie, but once you watch the trailer like we did, I'm sure you guys will be hooked just the same.
I don't think anything can get worse than Twilight. As long as Morbius isn't sparkling in the light, then I think we should be good.
This is no Twilight shit.
This is no Twilight shit, guys. This is real shit. Victor, you're a huge fan of the comics, and I know that you like love those kind of minor antagonists / anti-heroes of like the Marvel and DC era. So can you shine a little light on like Morbius, the comic book character?
The vampire. I'll shine some light on that boy.
I didn't even think of that.
I was like, "Wait, you're trying to be smart." So, like the whole Morbius came out, and he actually appeared in one of the first issues he appeared in was actually an issue with I believe it's like the second appearance of Blade in the Tales of Dracula. So Morbius is pretty straightforward. What Vince described, it's a little different from the comic book origin, and even like in the a lot of people actually got introduced to the character in Spider-Man the Animated Series. He was in it. That was one of the first appearances of him, and that was one of the first appearances of an unknown like niche group of heroes called the Midnight Suns. So Morbius gets his powers. This one, it looks like they're going way grounded, but it's originally he got bit by a radioactive bat trying to find a cure for his blood disease. And what ends up happening is that he does cure it by becoming like a hybrid human bat monster, that he sucks plasma out of people through their blood. It looks like they're going way into the gothic approach of it, because there are versions of him that are like that, where it's more mystical. It's more that he can't stand the sunlight. In the MCU and a lot of the portrayals with the character, the sunlight doesn't kill him. It'll bother him. It'll, like how someone will get uncomfortable with heat or cold. That's what happens to him in sunlight, but it won't kill him. Him and Blade actually get into it. Before they actually know who one another is, they fight each other because Blade assumes Morbius is some sort of hybrid vampire, some sort of new vampire strain that they have to kill, because he notices that he's immune to garlic, he's immune to silver, he's immune to the sunlight to some degree. So he's like, oh shit, this is like this is a new strain of vampire that we have to kill. And then Morbius is like, no, I'm a doctor that got bit by a radioactive spider. And he's like, that's crazy. You're crazy. You're a vampire. I'm going to kill you now. And then they become really good friends. So it's really cool seeing it. It's really cool seeing Jared Leto play him too. The trailers, I feel like they haven't shown enough to where I can judge if it's going to be a good movie or not. But they're keeping to like a lot of they're pulling comic. Bro. They're pulling stuff from the comics that I am
there's so much. There's so much in the trailer to break down, and maybe you just need to watch it a couple more times. But I got you covered. Don't worry, I got everyone covered. So this is literally why we're doing this episode, is to break it down and to talk about all the little things that are in this trailer and what makes it exciting. I'll go through the list of things that I found real quickly, and then we'll kind of backtrack and hone in on each one. I think that's a good idea for the first episode with the new structure, I guess. So Victor did a real good job at breaking down who Morbius is, what we can expect for the overall plot and story of the movie itself. And then these little details will kind of, let us know the like the meat and potatoes of the movie, I guess, the details of what's going on, and we can kind of go and predict what we think is going to happen with it. So anyways, we got Tyrese Gibson in the movie. I'm just excited that Tyrese is in the MCU now. That's pretty cool. No more Fast and Furious life for him. He's taken a step up, and he's in the Marvel. Ejectocito, cuz. Ejectocito.
What if it is the same character though?
What if
he's still the same character? Oh my god! Can you imagine Avengers versus the Fast and Furious crew? And Tyrese has to pick sides.
You can't choose against family.
You can't choose against family.
Vin Diesel's like talking to Groot. He's like, he sounds familiar. I am Groot.
Oh my god, yeah, I forgot Vin Diesel is Groot. Oh shit. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's not going to work. They flash a picture of the Daily Bugle. It's the same Daily Bugle that is in the new Venom movie, which, if you're paying attention, we were supposed to cover it. We didn't. So sorry, not sorry, but not worth it. This is better. On the Daily Bugle, if you look closely, there's some semi topics on top. One says Rhino on the Loose, which that's a tie right into the Spider-Man universe. And the other one is a Black Cat reference, who is
Felicia
Black
Hardy.
Cat. Yeah, Felicia Hardy, who was introduced very subtly in the first Venom movie. So I'm not sure if they're going to keep that Felicia cast as her or if they're going to recast later, but those are two Spider-Man references right there. The biggest Spider-Man reference, we see Morbius walk right past a billboard with Spider-Man on it that says murderer spray painted over it, right? So, I mean, we're just tying Spider-Man all over the place.
That's not the biggest one, though.
Yeah, there's actually a bigger Spider-Man.
You know the bigger one.
I mean, there's all sorts of Spider-Man tie-ins on this.
Keaton, bro.
Yeah, Michael Keaton reprises his role as Vulture.
I got one.
Adrian Toomes.
And then, I mean, they go in, they give us a shot of a skyline, and we get Oscorp, and there's another big one in there. It's where Spider-Man works in the comics. I forget the name of the lab.
Oh, that was the pizza place?
Yeah, the pizza place, bro.
They also mentioned San Fran.
They mentioned San Francisco, which we know is where Venom is.
They mention him. They're just like, it's like that big guy in San Francisco.
We saw this happen. The same thing that happened in San Francisco. What else do I have here?
Horizon
the big
Labs.
Thing. Horizon Labs.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry,
Horizon Labs. No, that's we need that. Yeah, I think the big things are Michael Keaton coming back, and Spider-Man getting tied in all over the place with this. That's kind of the big reveal of the trailer, is that Morbius is tied into both universes. It's just one more character on top of Venom that pulls Spider-Man's MCU universe into the Sony universe as well. Kind of that overlapping weird area for us. But
shout out to Keaton, by the way.
What are you guys most excited about after all those things I referenced? What are something that you guys are excited about?
Just quick shout out to Keaton for doing DC and Marvel at his age. I mean, that's so cool. We're getting him as Batman and
I keep forgetting
Vulture.
He's coming back as Batman.
I mean, that's so awesome. But I think what I'm most excited about is just kind of the shared. I feel like Sony's kind of given into the MCU and making their characters more shared universe with the MCU. I feel like there's going to be this big thing where, like, we've seen it. Marvel/Disney is slowly buying, the intellectual property rights to so many characters that Sony has. And Sony, knowing that they're going to get more money if they just play ball with them, is slowly introducing them into their universe. I mean, we saw it with Venom in the after credits, spoilers, where, Tom Hardy, Eddie Brock / Venom is transported into the MCU universe with Peter Parker there. And I think with Morbius, it's kind of the same deal where, like, we kind of get, and Marvel and Sony are doing this wonderful thing where they're taking these lesser known characters, Morbius, Blade, Moon Knight. They're just taking all of these characters and they're introducing them in wonderful and new ways, which gives them a leg up on DC, because DC just falls back on so many of their well-known characters that there's no new ground being discovered. So with Marvel and Sony, they're doing a great job. So I think that's what I'm most excited about, is all these characters slowly seeping their way into the MCU, and they're not falling back on like the original 6 of the Avengers or anything like that, or they're introducing all of these new characters, the Young Avengers, Sword. That it's so cool to see all this happening and in our lifetime. So I feel like it's very cool to see. the CGI looks incredible. The final
his face.
I got is very reminiscent of the '90s series because like they just I feel like they took a lot of elements from that and they're like, how do we make this look terrifying? And they're taking all these characters, you know, the anti-heroes and like the bad guys, and they're kind of shedding this humanity on them, which is very cool to see and makes them very likable. So that's what I'm most excited about. It's just, you know, all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're doing a really good job at, obviously they introduced all the big characters in the beginning, Iron Man, Thor, Spider-Man, all the stuff like that. But now we're all the way up until phase 4, phase 5, and we're starting to get these characters that not a lot of people know. But you would think that this is kind of where they start to fall apart, and because people don't know these characters, they're not interested. But personally, I think it's even cooler to dive deeper into these universes. Like, for example, I'm a big Spider-Man person. I've been a Spider-Man person. I've grown even more of a fan watching the movies. So now with Morbius being tied into the Spider-Man universe directly, that makes me interested in his movies even more. Or, for example, Victor, I know you're a big Thor fan. So, you know, once they start casting characters that tie directly into Thor, I'm sure you're going to be just the same, right?
Oh hell yeah, absolutely. Beta Ray Bill, one of my favorite obscure things, even in the Venom movie, because they're building up the worlds and stuff like that, and I'm hoping that. And I actually, coming to what you asked David, and I kind of wanted to answer a little bit of it. You did a very beautiful thing, but yeah, introducing these dark characters and tying in these dark stories, like these horror movie stories. It's not like a traditional like Marvel or Sony superhero flick where it's like, hey, we're going to introduce, you know, a well-known hero like, you know, Wolverine, Captain Marvel, Captain America, these very righteous people. No, it's really cool that we get to see these dark stories getting pulled into the MCU, having that shimmer of like Tom Holland or whoever's going to be Spider-Man at this point, having those characters kind of brought in. And then just seeing that story mold and being incorporated, it has to be incorporated into the bigger MCU because they are borrowing characters. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for horror now. And I'm
the dark aspects of it, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's a big thing.
They already introduced so many. Venom itself introduced a very big story. So I'm hoping they're going to do the same thing with Morbius. I hope at some point we see a trailer point where, or even watching the movie, we see that like Morbius is like talking to someone, and then all of a sudden that Flash thing happens, and then he's in the regular MCU for a second.
I feel like WandaVision really kicked that off. Like the horror, like the making us uncomfortable with like the horror aspect of it, and then Doctor Strange is probably just going to lead right into it. Where I mean, they've said multiple times it feels like it's a horror movie. And so that's also going to lead into like, you know, the multiverse and all of that. And I'm just, dude, as a comic book fan, as a Marvel fan, and especially as a horror fan, I'm excited to see all of this. So it's going to be really fun.
I know we're probably cutting a little later than we should, but I wanted to say, yeah, that's the coolest thing. And I'm happy you picked this, Vince, because Morbius, like, if you think straight up power set, his whole power set is a vampire. That's his power set. Superhuman strength. He's just a killing machine. He's an alpha animal. Like he needs to eat blood to survive. He says that in the thing. He's like, I need to eat. And you even see him like run past someone and his hand's like a demon hand or something and swipe someone, and you see the dude like grab his face and neck. Like, and I'm just like, dude, did he just like fucking slit someone's throat? Like,
it's gonna be cool. All the fight sequences they've shown are really cool. Just his whole like jump up and pause, and he's got that kind of smoke. Someone compared it to a Nightcrawler, how he teleports, that smoke that follows him. I think the aesthetic of him is really cool.
It's very Dracula reminiscent.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know, I'm glad you guys are excited as excited as I am. That's going to wrap this one up. But if you guys stick around later in the week, we've got Star Wars stuff coming up, and we've got video game kind of Resident Evil. You know, we're going to talk about, some Star Wars stuff and a Resident Evil movie show series thing that's coming up. So That's it for now, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Later.